Intuitive Painting Teachers Lesson number 7. We are in part 2 that focuses on intuition. Intuition is something, as I said before, we can dedicate a whole few years course only to learn more about intuition. But one thing I can tell you for sure, that the more you stay here in this course and later, the more you practice teaching intuitive painting, the closer you get to your intuition and the better your understanding about it will be. But remember, we are limited in our ability to understand intuition, and this is how it is supposed to be. Because understanding is left brain, and left brain cannot interfere with right brain intuition. The wisdom of the intuition comes when we put aside all the mechanisms of left brain, or at least most of them, so intuition can come inside and give its specific precious knowledge. And this is exactly what chapter 7 is about. It's about confusion. And we cannot get intuitive without confusing ourselves. And we cannot help our students become freely creative and intuitive if we do not confuse them. Some level of confusion is necessary here in order for us to open the gates for the intuition influx, for the intuition streaming of knowledge, of ideas, of surprises that will not happen otherwise. So, this is how it works. We have here a massive influence of our left brain. This massive influence also creates massive self-criticism, of course. And lots of focuses on trying to do the right thing, the proper thing, the appropriate thing, the exact thing. This way, we cannot have intuition working with us, because intuition cannot have these interferences. It doesn't work like this. We need to confuse our left brain deliberately, yes, deliberately, in order for intuition to have a room. Because left brain is so busy calculating, trying to understanding, trying to be in control, that only through some confusion we can make it forget its duty for a while, so we can put some new intuition in place. So, for example, this is why we want to switch between people's paintings while they're working. Yes, and we always do it in time that they are not ready for this. So just come and switch. We confuse their left brain. We confuse their feeling of being in control, especially when we appreciate that one of our students is in a state where its work is too dominated by control. This is the time to confuse. Switch paintings. Give him or her a totally different painting from another student. Confuse them. Now, you can confuse them with a smile, with the music surrounding us, always in intuitive painting, with the atmosphere of free creativity flowing, so it won't be a massive crisis. It won't be traumatic. They will handle it. They will cope with it. You're going to give them a fantastic lesson of the value of confusion sometimes. Sometimes it's good to be confused, because being confused, being a time that your regular mindset, your regular left brain doesn't find a way to control things. So you feel, oh, I'm confused. I'm afraid of this. This is dangerous. Now, in the proper setting, confusion can be the gate towards intuition. So you're going to need to confuse yourself also. In many ways, in the way you practice intuitive painting, in the way you have the courage to take yourself into situations and events that may a bit confuse you, and you're going to stay there. You may want, when you walk or you travel, to confuse your plan and do something else that wasn't planned, to confuse the system, to confuse the path. So, left brain feels that confusion is dangerous. Left brain will do all it can to avoid, to prevent all possible confusion. It wants to be in total control. But when you are in total control, you cannot be creative, you cannot be intuitive, you cannot be flexible, you cannot come up with new ideas. You're in a kind of jail. Okay? When we are dominated by left brain's control over self-criticism, over self-judgment, not such a great place to be. But sometimes it is good to be there. But there are times that we need to confuse the system. And intuition will not come unless we confuse the system, unless we weaken left brain temporarily so we can play freely with creativity, with intuition. And in time you will see that also your instructions to the next paintings, your intuitive instructions will get better if you are ready to confuse yourself when you give these instructions. So you will have these bizarre, confusing ideas about the next instruction, and you will remember what I told you. Take these bizarre, confusing ideas and hand them as an instruction to your students. They will thank you. These will be your greatest instruction, your most intuitive, your most surprising, most precise intuitive instruction that will help them make a tremendous transformation through the intuitive painting. So, we would like to appreciate confusion in the right context, in the right place, as something that can help us. We would like to help ourselves feel confused in the right setting so we can become a little bit more intuitive. We would like to give our students the right setting in which we can confuse them and they will feel safe to work with this confusion, to play with it, and from there to set their creativity free. Confusion is good for us sometimes.